Hello everyone. So today let's start with the conditional sentences. Conditional sentences are used to describe real or hypothetical results of real or hypothetical situations. They can use many different verb forms. There are different type of conditionals. The first one is the zero conditional. The zero conditionals, also called the real conditional, refers to things that are always true. It is also used to describe the direct result of an action. For example, if you heat water, it boils. When you heat water, it boils. Like this. So here, if and when means the same thing in the zero conditional sentences. This is the action when you heat water, and this should be in present simple tense. And here is the result, it boils. It also should be in present simple sentence in case of zero conditionals. Okay, let's take further examples. If you heat ice, it melts. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਰਫ਼ ਨੂੰ ਗਰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਇਹ ਪਿਘਲਦੀ ਹੈ. If you drop an apple, it falls. When you put a rock in water, it sinks. The result clause can go to the beginning of the sentence. The comma is removed in this case, like this. Oil floats when you pour it onto water. So here in this sentence, the result is in the beginning, and you do not need any comma like this sentence. So how to form zero conditional sentences? First we use if and then action in the present simple tense. Then we use a comma that goes at the end of the if or when clause, and then we use present simple for the result, and result is described using present simple sentence in case of zero conditional sentences. So conditionals with imperatives. Imperatives can be used in conditional sentences. The if clause describes a hypothetical situation, and the imperative clause describes what someone should do if that hypothetical situation actually happens. For example, this is a situation and this is the suggested action. Both should be in present. If you are cold, put on a coat. Let's take further examples. If you feel sick, call a doctor. If the dog's hungry, feed him. If the traffic is bad, cycle to work. If the children behave badly, call me. Don't stay up late if you are tired. This is a negative imperative sentence. Let me know if you need any help. So the order is reversed in this case, so there is no comma. So these are the imperative sentences. And how to form them? Use if and then present simple tense, and after that we use comma, and then we use imperative sentence, and all should be in present simple sentence. Okay, so let's understand the second type, the first conditionals. The first conditional, also called the future real conditionals, uses if to describe a realistic action that might lead to a future result. Here, if this is a likely action, I save enough money, and this is a future result that might happen. If I save enough money, I'll go on a cruise. If I save enough money, then this could be the result. And how to form these sentences? The first conditional is usually introduced by an if clause followed by the present simple, here it is, and the future with will expresses the result. So first we use if, then simple present sentence, then comma, and then simple future sentence. Let's take further examples to understand it better. If I go jogging, I will lose weight. If I get the job, I will buy a new suit. If it snows, I will go skiing. If we go to Africa, we will go on a safari. If I cook, will you do the dishes? I wouldn't go outside if it rains. So in these kind of sentences, the first action should be in present tense and the second action will be based on the first action. If I get the job, I will buy a new suit. अगर मैंने जॉब लगती है तो मैं नवा सूट खरीदांगा. सो जॉब प्रेजेंट 'ਚ अगर लगेगी ਤਾਂ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵਾਂ ਸੂਟ ਖਰੀਦਾਂਗਾ. अगर जॉब नहीं लगती then the situation may be different. Here is the next type, the second conditional. The second conditional, also called the unreal conditional. The first conditional is real conditional, the second conditional is future real conditional, and the second conditional is unreal conditional. And we use if to describe an unlikely or unreal action or event. The described result is also very unlikely. So their chances are not that much. We can say that. If I won the lottery, I would leave my job. And the first sentence is in the past. The second is also we use would. अगर मेरी लॉटरी लगती या अगर मैं लॉटरी जितदा ਤਾਂ मैं अपनी नौकरी छड्ड दिंदा. लॉटरी लगी नहीं and मैं जॉब छड्डी नहीं. So here the event is unlikely event and the result is also unlikely result. So this is we can say that this is an imaginary situation. So how to form these kind of sentences? We use if in the beginning and then past simple tense, I won the lottery, and then we use comma, and then we use could or would plus base form, the first form of the verb, I would leave my job. So let's take further examples in order to understand it better. If he wasn't so busy, he would take a break. अगर वो busy ना होंदा ਤਾਂ ਉਹ break ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦਾ. But now what is the situation? He is busy, वो busy है, so इसलिए उसने break नहीं लिया. So if he was not busy, he would take a break. I would call her if I knew her number. So probably I don't have her number. If I moved to Scotland, I would live in a cottage. If I saw a ghost, I would be terrified. If I had more time, I could take up karate. If I learned English, I could visit London. So now I didn't learn English, so now I'm not visiting London. So both the actions are unlikely and the result is also unlikely. If I learned English, ਜੇ मैं English ਸਿੱਖਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ, then I could visit London. Okay, here's the last type, the third conditional. The third conditional, also called the past unreal conditional, is used to describe unreal situations in the past, and it is often used to express regret about the past because the hypothetical situation that it describes is now possible as a consequence of another past action. If we had left earlier, we would have caught the train. So this is the unreal past situation. This is a situation and this didn't happen. If we had left earlier, but we were late. Unreal past result. So this did not happen either, we would have caught the train. Let's take further examples to understand it better. If I had woken up on time, I would have done my hair. If you had been wearing a coat, you might have stayed warm. Might means this possibly would have happened, but it did not. If I had studied harder, I could have been a doctor. Could means this possibly would have happened, but not now. If I had known it was your birthday, I would have bought you a present. But now I do not know it was your birthday, so I didn't buy any kind of present for you. So if I had known, ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ that it was your birthday, ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ birthday ਸੀ, I would have bought you a present. ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ gift ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ. So how to form these kind of sentences? We use if and then had plus past participle means third form. We had left earlier. And then we use comma and then would or could or might. We would and then we use have plus past participle means the third form of the verb. If we had left earlier, we would have caught the train. So these are the mixed conditionals. Second conditionals. The second conditional is used to talk about hypothetical situations in the present. How? If I didn't believe in astrology, I wouldn't have read my horoscope. This is a third conditional. The third conditional is used to talk about hypothetical situations in the past. So we use past perfect and would have plus past participle. If I had known he was an Aquarius, I wouldn't have gone out with him. Now we are mixing. These are mixed conditionals. Mixed conditionals are usually used to talk about hypothetical situation, present results of unreal past situations. Results of unreal past situations. If you had been born a month earlier, you would be a Virgo like me. Let's take further examples to understand better. If you had not forgotten to bring the keys, you wouldn't be locked out of the house. If I had finished my assignment sooner, I could be out with my friends today. You would be studying at a new school tomorrow if you hadn't failed your exams. You would be on a beach in Greece by now if we hadn't missed our flight. So but now we had missed our flight and we are not on the beach. So we would be on a beach in Greece by now if we hadn't missed our flight. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ flight miss ਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ beach ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ. So these are the other conditional sentences. English allows for some variations in conditional sentence structures. These give more information about the context of the conditionals. So these are the conditional sentences with modal verbs. First, second and third conditional sentences can use different modal verbs in their result clauses. These can be used to express uncertainty, possibility or obligation and amongst other things. Remember, we are talking about first, second and third conditionals. We are not talking about the zero conditionals. First conditionals. If I save enough money, I will buy a new car. So this was the rule that we have learned earlier. We can also say that if I save enough money, I can buy a new car. Means we can use different modal verbs and we could be able to do so. In this first conditional, will can be replaced by a variety of modal verbs to talk about different ideas uncertainty, possibility, obligation, and things like that. In case of second conditional, if I saved enough money, I would buy a new car. So if I saved enough money, I might buy a new car. This is also correct. I could buy a new car. ਜੇ ਮੈਂ enough money save ਕਰਦਾ, then ਮੈਂ car ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦਾ. This is the situation. This is the unreal situation. If I saved enough money, ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ car ਲੈ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ. I might, the possibility ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ car ਲੈ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ. So this is the past ability. We use could for the past ability and we use might for the past possibility. Here is the third conditional. If I had saved enough money, ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ enough money save ਕੀਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ, I would have bought a new car. ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ car ਲੈ ਲਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ. So how can we change this? If I had saved enough money, I could have bought a new car. I might have bought a new car. So we can replace the would by could and might depending on the situation. If we want to talk about the ability in the past and possibility and uncertainty. Okay, so this is first conditional with unless. Unless can be used instead of if in conditional sentences. Unless means if not, so the future result depends on suggested actions not happening. If you do not study hard, you will fail your exams. It means you should do this action now and these are the future results. So let's use unless. Unless you study hard, you will fail your exams. If you do not study hard, ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ, ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ struggle ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਅੱਛੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, you will fail in your exams. Unless you study hard, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, you will fail your exams. So this is the difference. Let's take further examples. Unless you get up now, you will be late for work. I will be angry unless he turns that music down. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ music down ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, we can say that. If he does not turn that music down, अगर वो music down नहीं करता, जेकर वो music की volume down नहीं करता, then I will be angry. So these are the formal third conditionals. The third conditional can be made more formal by swapping had with the subject and dropping if. If you had attended the meeting, you would have met the manager. Had you attended the meeting, you would have met the manager. The meaning is almost same. Had I worked harder at school, I could have studied medicine. Had you listened to the directions, you would have arrived on time. Had she woken up earlier, she wouldn't have been late. Had we bought that house, we couldn't have afforded this trip. So this is a conditional sentence overview. And so the types of conditionals are the zero conditional, that is used to talk about situations that will always happen, and it is used to talk about general truths. For example, and we use present simple sentences. Both the tenses are present simple. If you play the violin out of tune, it sounds terrible. And the second conditional, we use past simple and then would plus base form. If I practiced more, that song would sound better. Using commas in conditional sentences. When you freeze water, ice forms. Or you can also replace it, ice forms when you freeze water. Here in this sentence we do not use any kind of comma, but in this sentence if you are using if or when in the beginning, you should and you must use a comma. Okay, the first conditional, the present simple, and this is the will plus base form. If I practice really hard, this song will sound great. The third conditional, we use past perfect and would plus have plus past participle. If I had practiced more, I would have sounded better. So these are the other mistakes that students often do, and they make these mistakes if they do not practice enough. So I suggest you to practice enough and learn those mistakes and avoid using comma when it is not necessary. And also you will be given the exercise at the end of this, so you must learn how to use different kind of conditionals. I also suggest you to make sentences with all type of conditionals so that you can learn them better and can easily apply in all your IELTS exam as well as in your English language. In IELTS in general, we do not need all of the conditionals, but the first and the zero conditionals are the most important ones, I can say that. And although you can also use other conditional sentences when you need them depending on the situations. Okay, thank you so much.